So President Trump recently has been very busy on Truth Social, and one of them that's getting a lot of people riled up is a truth about the calm before the storm. And with everything going on behind the scenes, I want to tie together what this might mean, because with everything going on, there's something deeper, more meaningful going on with regards to the takedown of this deep state syndicate. So let's get into it. So this was the truth post that was in question. It says it was the calm before the storm. Now, what's interesting here is that he's saying it was, meaning that the calm before the storm actually passed. And of course, this is a Q reference, but here from 8 years ago, back in October of 2017, when Trump famously cryptically mentioned that maybe it's the calm before the storm. And of course, there's a general here behind them, but what's also interesting is that, remember, in his first inauguration, remember, all the generals were behind Trump, saying that the transition of power is going back to the people, and this is where Q and many Anons remember as this being a pivotal moment in history. Now, this was sandwiched between all of the China visit stuff, the reflecting pool, as well as other memes. And if you go up a little bit, he mentions here that we made America great again. Now here, MAGA, of course, means make America great again. But here he said we made America great again, meaning that there's progress. There's something happening, both optically, visibly on the public-facing perspective, but also possibly stuff going on behind the scenes. Now, in the same several days, he's called attention to the change in that reflecting pool, what they do, what we do, and what was prior presidents and what President Trump is doing right now. He continually talks about cleaning and draining the swamp. So this is homage in some sense to saying that there's stuff happening. Now, we'll get back to this here in a second. Now, within those, again, several days, Trump has been posting massively about endorsements, and all of these people have been winning. Now, above, you can see that he tallied at 37-0, but before this, with all the videos, he rarely does, I think, individual video endorsements, but he's done several of those. He's talked here about the illegal mail-in ballots here, especially in Maryland, and how they were caught. And again, he's been bringing this up. Many people have been bringing up the stolen elections and many other things and some of the methods that they use. But here he calls this out in the last several days. He's also mentioned retribution. If you remember Tina Peters, she was wrongly accused in some sense for her role in accessing some of the voter rolls, and this Colorado governor communed Tina's sentence for a role in allowing unauthorized access to her county's election equipment. And Trump recently mentioned free Tina, and she apparently is freed now in a sense. Trump, again, has talked specifically about removing some of the deep state actors, especially in the Republican side that are rhinos. And here, in several posts talking about Thomas Massie, has been a very big headline. He lost his primary to an incumbent. And now, with Bill Cassidy also gone, this was two huge wins in terms of, from Trump and the White Hat's perspective, the Republican GOP's perspective of removing anti-MAGA type people. So this was big from that perspective. And then several days ago, and again, I'm just reviewing some of the posts, the series of posts, the Supreme Court victory over the gerrymandering. Here, another meme, but in some sense, and I also talked about this in a video several days ago, where the Northeast states here are Democratic, but they're actually Republican in the sense of there's many voters that are Republican, but it's represented as being blue. And then here, this joke here about Jim Crow 2.0 in the Southeast, where that is going to, once it's changed, the maps are redistricted, going to be very Republican heavy. So this is win-win-win from Trump, the White Hat's perspective. Now, Q again mentioned several times about the calm before the storm. Let's read a couple of them. Post 3173 says, all of us have been antsy for the hammer to drop, but we will remember this time. Again, this is an anon, the time before we knew the next big scene. This is historic. And like Q mentions, the calm before the storm. What happens when a blockade and threat, in parentheses, is dismantled and removed? You'll find out. Children used as shields, manufactured crimes of perjury, fire at will commander. And then this post 38, 4 carriers and escorts in the Pacific. Why is that relevant? To prevent other state actors from attempting to harm us during this transition. Russia/China. Now that's very timely with everything that went on this past week, or conversely for all North Korea, or all three. Think logically about the timing of everything happening. Note increased military movement. Note NG, National Guard deployment starting tomorrow. Note false flags. Follow HUMA. prepare messages of reassurance based on what was dropped here to spread on different platforms. The calm before the storm. Now, one of the reasons that Trump is talking about midterms, he's talking about endorsing certain people and cleaning the swamp, all of that is a unified message. Remember, post 15 here, this part where it says the corruption that will come out is so serious that deals must be cut for people to walk away. Otherwise, 70% of elected politicians would be in jail. You are seeing it already begin. A deep cleansing is occurring, and the prevention and defense of pure evil is occurring on a daily basis. They never thought they were going to lose control of the presidency, not just these. They thought they had control since making past mistakes. JFK, Reagan, good speed patriots. P.S. Soros is targeted. And then post 35 here saying, remain calm. The primary targets are within D.C. and remain at the top level on both sides, meaning D versus R, DNR. So the idea here is that the storm is passing or has just passed. It's going into action mode. The swamp is being cleaned, and that the election, the midterms, the primaries, and cleaning house, redistricting, all of this is strategy, making sure that they get the House, the Senate, and the swamp is cleaned out. There's a big emphasis by Q about talking about cleaning the top, the elected officials. This is big stuff. Now, post 1197 says, will election fraud be revealed soon? Yes. Q says, midterms are safe. Watch California. Now, this is very interesting, the timing of all this, because not only do you have Trump talking and taking on domestic stuff with the politicians, the new elected officials, removing the swamp and removing certain people and all that, but just yesterday, Todd Blanche, Attorney General, talking about indicting Cuba's Raul Castro. This is big news. U.S. charges former Cuban leader Raul Castro with murder over 1996 killing of Americans. Now, I'll talk about some of this and other things in different videos. But again, I'm just dropping the information that more and more things are coming out. Trump mentioned Cuba was next, and this deep state cleansing, this cleaning is happening as we speak. We are beyond the calm before the storm. We're seeing the storm. We're seeing stuff move into the other side. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Also, if you guys want to support me, you guys know I'm in a season of transition. I'm also listener supported, so would love the financial support until things get better and improve. So if you guys want to help me out, all the information is down in the link below. GiveSendGo.com/Chrisyoonyt. Also have PayPal, Zelle, Venmo. Love you guys. More to come. Talk to you guys very soon.